28 years later, hit theaters. Grayson and I just saw it, and we can't wait to talk about it. Danny Boyle's third return to the 28 later
Yeah,
universe.
he came back. He wasn't on the sequel, but he was on this one, and it definitely shows.
Oh, yeah. And Alex Garland came in to direct. Interestingly enough, Grayson isn't very familiar with any Alex Garland
No,
stuff.
I never watched the, what is it, Deus Ex? Or
Yeah,
Ex
Deus
Machina?
Ex Machina,
Okay.
and then
Civil War? Did he do that
Civil
one?
War, and he did
Annihilation?
Annihilation, which is
So,
also really good.
I know all of his movies, but I've never sat down to watch any of his films, so this was my first experience with him.
Yeah, and you can really feel it. So this will be a spoiler review. We will be talking deep. You can't really do a review of this at all without talking about the actual context of the film. So we're just going to go all in on it. So make sure and like the video and leave a comment after you've watched it all and give us your thoughts below. You can go to patreon.com/hangtime, support content just like this, and support content directly here on Carnage Candy. So let's talk, Grayson.
Okay.
We have such a different feeling movie. Probably by, like, for me, about 30 minutes in, I'm like, this is such a different... I could feel Garland radiating off of it. Because Garland is like...
He only wrote it, though, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. But so it's very much a rule-setted film. You have a small, isolated community.
Yep.
We've got Aaron Taylor Johnson as the dad, and then we've got Spike, 12 years old. He's coming into his own, and he's going on his first hunt with Dad.
Yep.
And it's cool because we get our rule sets early. We understand how the community works because while they're going on their first hunt, we're showing the community prep
Yep.
for his return and their party. So very simplistic kind of restructure of society. They've got hunters, gatherers, all that stuff.
Farmers,
Yeah.
etc.
And they are isolated on the small island, and then this tide path is like a land bridge.
Protects them so
Yeah.
that the infected can't come in at night.
Yes, and so there's only a certain time during the day where they can go out on their hunt, and the community's all behind it. And immediately, like even early on, it was like the editing's awesome.
It is. It's. I think some people are
I
not
thought it
gonna.
was.
I think some people won't like it because to me, this one feels a lot more like 28 Days, which makes sense because he's back and directing again. But it is a lot of very like interesting camera angles that I don't think I've ever seen before in a movie. For instance, there's a lot of arrow shots to where you see the hit and then it spins over and then you see the fall.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of unique things that some people might find jarring, but it's not throughout the whole film, but it's in a lot of it.
Yeah, they'll do like random cuts to these abstract scenes and like World War I footage, and it's very art house, but in kind of an intimate but epic apocalyptic movie. We have Spike going out on his own, and they use the hunt to kind of teach the rule sets of the different types of zombies because we have new classes.
Yep, because the infection has been around for so long that all the infected have evolved. So you have runners, and now you have the big ones that just kind of like lurk around.
Yeah, the alphas.
Yeah, and then you got I was talking about the big ones that
the
crawl.
mud people,
The mud people, and then you've got alphas.
The
you've
real
got
big
three,
ones.
You've got 3 categories
Yeah.
of infected in this movie, and it's awesome.
I'm assuming that we also have like regular ragers, but like,
Oh yeah, I think you do. I think that's what they call the runners. I think they're supposed to be like
Yeah.
the regular ones.
And what's cool is the alphas bring like a new dynamic because it kind of gives the leads and our actors a chance to. It's like the zombies have now concentrated into packs instead of hordes, which I think is good because they have bow and arrows in this.
Yes.
Like there's no real zombie chase or horde on the scale of the older movies.
Yeah, especially 28 weeks. Like there's nothing to that scale.
Exactly. We're kind of dealing with like 6 to 10 at a time. I think if at any time if a horde had showed up in this movie, it would have been over. So the alphas not only are like a new threat, but it also gives the shut up. It also gives the script an excuse to not have to put them into an impossible situation. I I really like the father-son dynamic, and there's a scene when they get, there's a lot of good tactical movement and stuff in the chases. And I love in that chase that Spike has a great heart, but he's not a wimp at all. And
he's a 12-year-old boy.
Exactly. And I love how there's a chase scene where the dad has to pick up the slack.
Yep.
And you just feel like really sad. And it's like, man, kids shouldn't have to deal with this.
Yeah, the kid should not be in the situation that he's in, but the dad just wanted them there, honestly, just to have him with him.
Yeah.
He wanted to prepare him for what the world was.
Yeah, it was kind of like a sadistic exposure therapy. And I laughed a couple of times, even though I didn't know if I should or not, because the dad has lived in the world and he's like completely desensitized. And everything's like a matter of fact. And so this was kind of like this really terrible exposure therapy for the kid. And the dad says stuff that I'm like, you would think, instead of being like, excellent job, son, he's like, did you see that? You know?
I think with him, it's supposed to be he's trying to make him feel good about what he's doing and not make it feel as awkward so that he can get him desensitized to it faster as well.
Yeah.
I understand what he's doing because it's a lot more difficult for him being born into this world, whereas his father was put through this as it went on.
Yeah, and the dad treating it like he would a little league pitch or something is like, it makes it kind of comical, but then sad at the same time. There's a scene where they get into the house and we have that body with the cult symbols on it, which I thought we were going to get answers from the doctor.
Oh no, it spells a name on his chest. I don't know if you picked that up.
Okay, was it Isla?
No, it says Jimmy.
It said Jimmy on it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't read it.
Yeah, his name, which you will see a lot in this movie, his name shows up quite a few times in it.
Okay, I guess because it was, I don't know. I don't know why I didn't recognize the symbols.
In your defense, there's a lot going on in that scene, and it is a lot of like quick shots going back and forth between them.
I just thought they were like cult symbols. Okay, so that makes way more sense, and it makes the movie better. Okay, awesome. Okay, so he's got the name Jimmy, and the dad really hits the exposure therapy hard. He's like, look at it.
Yeah, because he needs to be prepared, because in this world, you see something like this, but it can quickly change. Yeah. And that's what happens. He tells him to look at it. The kid is looking away, and instead of putting it down, it breaks loose, and then he is forced to make basically a lucky shot to kill him.
Yeah. Whenever we get that this kind of attic chase and they kind of hole up and the kid sees, we understand that the French are there, probably a French patrol.
Or Swedish.
He says French.
He says French, but yes.
Yeah, probably French. And this is the first hint that there's there might be a civilized world out there. Because, I don't really know in the context of this universe if it has spread outside of Europe or not, or if everybody is like this.
I can't remember exactly what they say in 28 weeks, because there are Americans that are over there.
Yeah, see, in 28 weeks, it's like, cool, it's contained to Europe.
Yes.
It's just only a European problem, and the Americans are helping,
exactly.
Right? And so we don't really know how things have escalated in the 20 years since, but we understand that there's other militarized patrols out there that aren't kind of not uncivilized, but bow and arrow people, right?
Yes, so the island is in a quarantine.
Yes.
It's a quarantine island with a boat patrolling it the whole time to make sure that nobody comes off of it.
And we get our first look at the Alpha. They chase him up into the house, and then the kid sees the fire, and that's like our first carrot, right? Spike's mom is sick with. I kind of thought it was some kind of disassociation trauma.
Yeah, I did too.
But the actress plays it really well, and it's super sad. She doesn't understand like what's happening. So the dad clearly lies about what's over there, and I think my favorite part of the movie that I wish would have been explored more was this party that they get back to. But before we get to that, there is a chase scene.
Yeah.
That was spectacular. We have the Alpha going after the father and Spike, and the tide hasn't come all the way in yet. And they use that as a visual. It's like knee deep in the water, so they can cross the land bridge, but it's still not optimal. It's up to their shins. Those shots of just the water splashes to use as landmarks, and then the mid gate, and then the sign that he steps on, and then the Alpha steps on it. They did such a great job of building tension there with that moonlit thing. What did you think was going to happen?
This whole movie, I thought that we were going to get about 5 minutes of the dad.
Yeah, same.
I really did think that he was going to get knocked out. So at this point, my first thought is, okay, he's going to stay back and let his son run on.
Some kind of sacrifice.
So they can take care of it. And what we got was even better.
Yeah.
Because what they do is they show you how powerful an Alpha is.
Yeah.
Because the dad had said earlier to the son, it's going to take 12 arrows to take him down, at least.
Yeah, he said he's seen people put 12 into them and they not go down.
And whenever you see an Alpha, you know. Like, they're taller than everybody, they're bigger than everybody, they're faster than everybody.
It's like as realistic to a tank class.
It is, 100%. And that's what's so cool about this is you can feel the classes. Like, if you play Left 4 Dead, you'll be like, oh, yep, there it is.
There's a
tank.
bloater.
There's the bloater. There's your hunters.
Yeah.
So you get this amazing chase, like Shaun was saying, that has a really cool climax on what you have to do to put this thing down. They are correct. It takes 10 to 15 arrows.
A couple of volleys.
And then they bring out the big gun. They bring out this flaming harpoon that is huge to take this thing down.
Yeah.
And even then, whenever it hits, in my head, I'm going, it's going to get right back up. We're going again.
I think that what's awesome about the legacy of these movies is there's always a tragic moment in it, right? And I kept waiting for it to happen, and so whenever he's like, look at my eyes, I was like, they're gonna see something. And then because they won't let him in if they think they're infected, he's like, look at the boy's eyes. And it's like, oh man, is it gonna be red? Because these are the kind of movies that would do that to the characters.
In 28 days, you have the really cool father figure who all he did was look up and a drop of blood hit him.
Yeah.
And that's how quickly things can turn in these movies.
And then you have, of course, like Dawn at the beginning of Weeks. And then, of course, Jeremy Renner just has the worst fate ever.
He's amazing in it, though. Yeah, he's really good.
He's great. And so we get in, and then this is what I was talking about. This kind of party scene where they're celebrating Spike coming back is really, really sad. Because it's filmed like just as chaotically as a zombie chase.
Yeah.
And they're giving this 12-year-old like drinks and celebrating him, and then the dad is being like super over the top and kind of lying about what happened to champion his son, right? And probably give his son
to make his son feel better about what's happening.
Yeah, but Spike isn't that kind of kid.
No.
And I was like, oh, that's really sad. And then it's capstoned off with the dad sleeping with smoking hot teacher Rosie.
Which they kind of reference whenever they're first leaving. There's like a look between the two as they walk by. It's very subtle, but you could tell something's going on between them.
And as an adult, it's like I don't see this as like some horrible betrayal. Like I see it as like a sad, like it makes sense. The wife is, definitely sick and not herself, and this is like a terrible place, and
he doesn't feel good about it.
Yeah. The dad is like, the dad is doing what it takes him to survive. It's wrong to cheat. I'm just saying, I know that, but it's not. I don't like hate the dad because of this.
No, I think for me it just adds more to what we're gonna get as it goes on with the relationship between the dad and the son.
Yeah,
and that's what makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, I think the son sees this and he kind of freaks out, and then that's what pushes the son to go home, and then we get the reveal of what that carrot of the fire in the distance is earlier the dad lied about. There's a doctor out there, he's crazy.
Yeah.
And then of course it's like, okay, that's what gets the kid out. He's gonna take his mom to go see the doctor.
Yes.
At first I was like, I don't think it would do that, because the mom seemed like so incapacitated that she wouldn't be able to travel.
Wouldn't be able to do anything. So if she was to go anywhere, in my head, I was thinking, you're going to have to push her around in a wheelbarrow or something to get her out of there.
Yeah. I think they probably could have shown a good episode of the mom.
Yeah.
Because, like, before that, she's only kind of displayed in, like, this sick chaos mode.
Yeah.
I think it would have been good to show that, like, she does have the capacity to be completely herself.
Yep.
I think that would have made me believe. But once we get into it, we understand she can do this. The kid burns the supplies and then runs.
The only way he could get out. That's the only way he could get out to find out how he could get help for his mom, because he got to go to that doctor.
I leaned over to Grace and I go, they should have fire harpooned Spike before he got out.
The poor kid went flying.
I know. We have, but yeah, that party scene, I was like, of course the dad is kind of out of the picture for the rest of the film here. I think, I thought that maybe, I understand why it was there, but I thought that was a really interesting dynamic of, but the cause is him taking the mother.
Yes.
Right? That's like the straw, the dad blowing up something bigger than it was. So, whenever we're going, we have this, if you've seen the previews, you know Ray Fiennes is probably the doctor.
Yeah, and I will say this about the previews and the trailers, it doesn't ruin anything.
No.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, it's really great.
From this point on, the rest of the movie, I don't really know what's going to happen, which is incredible. I had no idea we were going to go on a journey with the son and the mom.
Yeah.
This is brand new territory. I had no clue we were going here. I thought it was just going to be a dad and son journey.
Yeah. I kind of thought we were going to go into cult world.
Yes,
And,
I did too. Yeah.
And this is where the movie just really, I don't want to say loses steam, but kind of hits like a wandering zone for about 20 or 30 minutes.
It does.
We get the mom and son traveling. The son really can't escort his mom very well, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's 12.
Yeah. He falls asleep, and then we get that scene where the mud man,
The bloaters.
almost kills him. But it's revealed that the mom, in her psychosis, had saved the son.
Yes. So she had a moment where she came back to where she was, realized her son was in trouble, and saved him.
Yeah, and I think that, I don't know, that was like a weird, I thought that was going to go somewhere.
I did too. That had been my complaint in this movie, is I feel like there's a lot of random stuff in this movie that doesn't really go anywhere, but it is a part of the trilogy, so I'm kind of giving it a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah,
with it, but
I feel like that's that part, that's a Garland part.
Yeah.
That's like a clever idea that probably didn't get fleshed out enough or was lost on me. And get a good chase scene. We have the mom and Spike. They go into that gas station when they're running, and we meet Eric after seeing his patrol get decimated.
Yeah, another kind of random scene.
Yeah.
It's just a group of, I think, 8 soldiers that are fighting off another pack. So you have another pack and another alpha. So there are multiple alphas out in this force, which is really cool, because I was kind of scared that was going to be the last one we got.
Yeah.
So you have this pack of 8 that are fighting off this pack that's coming after them.
And like a river spillway.
In a spillway. 5 of them get knocked out. They're down to 3, and they're in a pitch black tunnel.
Yeah, we get a great head rip.
Probably one of the better ones that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And it's not like the whole head. It is fingers in mouth, pull straight up.
Yeah, he pulls the top, like the jaw is still on the body, right?
It is very Mortal Kombat-like. Very much so.
He uses it like a mace to hit somebody else.
It is so awesome when that
he uses
happens.
the spine and the head to like hit that other one. That was great. But Eric has been revealed. Eric's a douchebag. But he does save.
It is a... This is where it's kind of interesting, because Eric comes from a world to where he knows the infection exists, but he doesn't know how to really deal with it.
Yes, and this is our confirmation that, okay, the rest of the world, like 28 weeks, is still safe. This is quarantined. There's a normal world out there with cell phones and technology, and Eric is kind of like our tool to display that. Eric's freaked out by the mom. Eric is kind of cold, but he's good for information.
Yes.
We get this train scene. Earlier, we see an infected running around with the new alpha, Samson, who is named by the doctor. And there's a pregnant infected in the river. I laugh so hard at the infected plane in the river.
It is interesting because it's like they're bathing.
Yes.
So they're in a stream bathing, which again shows you that these are different infected. Like these are more advanced, more intelligent in a way.
They're naked.
They're all naked, which makes sense because they probably ran out of their clothes. But it is very interesting when you see the pregnant one walking around because it makes you think, okay, they also have emotions towards each other as well because they're able to get them pregnant, which makes them feel even more like a wolf pack.
Yeah,
like
and I'm assuming the alpha is the seed giver.
For sure, especially with what happens on the train.
Yeah. The mom and this train scene is so Alex Garland.
Yes.
The Alex Garland is the kind of writer that's like, what if they got pregnant? You know?
Yeah, it is definitely a scene that shows that the reason that the boy is so compassionate is because of his mom.
Yeah.
Because the mom does show compassion to a pregnant infected giving birth and helps it.
It's kind of like I thought it was interesting. I'm not saying that Garland's bad here. I think it's just like there's a maternal instinct that is stronger than the infected instinct to murder. And that's really interesting because the mother and the infected have like this bonding over the infected's birthing pain. And then once the baby comes out, obviously, I guess like the mother instinct is gone.
Yeah.
And then she turns crazy again and tries to kill the mom. Eric blows her away. But we've got a baby. And like, what did you think we were going to get a Dawn of the Dead baby?
I did expect a Dawn of the Dead baby. I will be 100% honest with you. I thought it was going to cut to it. It was going to have red eyes.
Yeah.
But I thought it was going to be kind of like the mom in 28 weeks. How it was going to have like one red eye and one normal eye.
Yeah,
or two different
I
eyes.
remember
That
that,
shows that there are immune people to the virus. That's what I thought this baby was going to become.
Yeah.
But instead, no.
Yeah.
It's just a normal baby that we know of so far.
Yeah. Eric's like, we got to kill that thing. It's infected.
Yeah, they're spreading. They're evolving to make it go on even more.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even the doctor who's been there, we've come to find does not know what happens when an infected. So, like, I'm not, like, mad at Eric either, but it is, like, because we still don't know at that point if the baby's infected or not, so it's really intense. But Daddy does not want Eric to kill the baby.
Nope, sure doesn't.
We get Big Dick Samson dropping in.
They definitely make sure that you know that he is well equipped. Because as soon as he drops in, that guy is doing this with a camera as he drops in on you. Yeah. And you don't need to zoom in for it either.
I literally went, oh my God.
Yeah, it's very intimidating.
Samson is a unit.
Yeah.
We have like a very small moment where Samson sees that his lover is gone, but like it's not like he's that sad about it. But he does acknowledge.
Yeah.
And small chase through the train, Big D. We do get this character development here where Spike is putting arrows in him. Spike is confident.
He is becoming more of a hunter now. He is being able to basically stand his ground and try to protect his mother.
Yeah.
So it's way different now when he's with his mom than it was with his dad.
Yeah, and I think that like now that he's not doing his shaky bow stuff anymore, so I thought if there's not going to be a giant action set piece at the end of this movie, that is probably at least where we can see like his combat prowess come in. We get outside and Samson gets hit with a tranq dart from our boy. Crazy ass Ray Fiennes shows up as the doctor, covered in iodine or some shit.
I will say this right now, he steals the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, as soon as this character shows up, you don't care about anybody else. You just want to know about this character.
Because the whole time we're waiting, we get this story with the dad that said why the dad was so scared of him. Dad tells Spike before he goes, we went there, he had bodies lined up, and he was burning them.
And he turned around and waved at us and told us to come on in.
Yeah, he was like...
And we ran.
Yeah, and we ran.
Which makes complete sense, because whenever they show the image, it's hundreds of bodies lined up that he's just slowly taking care of.
Yeah, and I think this is where I think that this and the subversion of expectations that happens in like the next 25 to 30 minutes is like where the movie goes from like, it probably gives me an extra half a point or a point from what happens here because Ray Fiennes is tranking the infected. He's like, this is Samson. He's been here for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And Samson's just kind of sleeping on his feet.
I think he says he's a new pack leader.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And Ray Fiennes takes them to this memoriam.
Yeah, he does.
That is nothing but tens of thousands of bodies.
This is one of the scenes from the trailer that is, oh, okay, we're here now.
Yeah.
So
this is why I thought it was going to be crazy.
I did too.
Cult shit.
We
have femurs stacked into towers, and Ray is really nice, and like I'm waiting for this turn. And he's like, I've been waiting to show people this for 13 years.
I've waited for so long for someone to ask me what this is and never thought I'd get an answer.
Or I'd get two answers.
Yeah, or I'd get two answers. Yeah.
And we're like, okay, he's crazy. This is crazy. He's going to eat him or something. And so he's just lugging around Eric's spine head.
Yeah, he asked them as he's carrying around, do you know this person? And they just reply, yeah, he saved our lives. What was his name? Eric. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Where'd that baby come from?
Yeah.
From an infected.
Yep.
He's like, oh, I was wondering what would happen.
Yeah, and then he said the magics of the placenta.
Yeah, and
Yep.
that is very clever because the placenta is a total enclosure.
Yep.
There is no infected blood, I guess. You know.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor.
It doesn't make any sense because the baby comes out covered in blood anyway.
Well, the placenta breaks when it.
But whenever that baby comes out, because she's pouring water all over the baby.
Yeah,
Because
I
of all
guess
the blood
nothing
and
gets
stuff.
into the baby's eyes.
I guess so, yeah.
I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know. But yeah, good enough for me.
Yeah, it's. I'm nitpicking.
That's nice.
Like,
But so we get this really disgusting cleaning of Eric's head, and Ray Fiennes has revealed that he has a skull tower in the center.
for memories.
Yeah. It's a 30-foot skull totem.
With handles to climb up.
Yeah, and so they clean up Eric's noggin, and then the doctor is like, "Hey, put his skull wherever you want."
Yeah, find a good spot for him.
Yeah, and yeah, the doctor's like, "Okay, so did you bring the baby here to me because I'm a doctor or something?" And the kid says, "No, my mom is sick," and I'm just like, I think already, whenever the kid puts Eric's skull on the pile, I think that was when I was like, I don't know, man, this doctor's just doing what he has to do to hold human memories special.
It is kind of hard to understand his character, and I think that's why I like him so much.
Yeah.
Because he is a very unique character in a really crazy world. What do you do in this situation? You have this entire town, which you probably were the doctor to a lot of these people, that you got to find something to do.
Yeah.
So I guess just make a memoriam for him, because that's what he does.
Yeah, but I think that was the point where I was like, I don't think this doctor's gonna do anything bad to anybody.
They still do kind of keep you on edge.
Yeah.
Because right after this happens, he starts doing an examination of the mom. And there are things that he says where he's like, I need to check your breasts and get up under your arm. And it does give this weird kind of like vibe.
Okay, is he going to do something here?
Yeah, is something going to happen? And no, they keep it very on par with the doctor's appointment. Like he's just doing what he has to do to figure out what's wrong with the mom.
Yeah.
And after this, it's just fast. Like, it's very fast paced from here on out. Because at this point, we're down to maybe 10 minutes left of the film.
And I'm waiting for the dad to show up and for him to like off the doctor in a panic or something. And it's just like, no, we just get this really touching scene where the doctor gives the mom her diagnosis.
Yeah.
And it's like, the doctor's really sweet, and he tranks Spike with the morphine dart, just like he did Samson.
to make him understand what's happening, to ease him to understand your mother has cancer.
Yeah, take a sedative, young man.
It's gonna kill her, and it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, they also use the term "good lad" from the doctor and the father.
Yeah.
The doctor says "good lad" to Spike just the way his dad does, to kind of like at least give the audience member some comfortability with what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think that was the affirmation of like, okay, he's actually a good guy. It's just weird that he builds bone totems.
Yeah. He's quirky.
He's
quirky.
He's a quirky guy.
He's a quirky guy.
And you know, he gets after Spike is kind of tranquilized and Spike's holding the baby. I'm assuming he goes and kills the mother after sedating her as well. And well, he does kill her.
He does kill her.
You can only assume how he does it.
Yeah.
I guess, but we do know that he takes her out back.
Yes.
He comes back with a skull, and I think it's like you're kind of desensitized. Eric was like the buffer to normalize Spike climbing this totem to pop his mom's skull.
Yep.
Sunset facing on the tower. And like I'm watching this, I'm like, that's weird, but I get it.
Yeah. It's showing you how much Spike is evolving, which is also kind of cool because he was able to do that. He was able to find a spot for his mother, and he was able to say goodbye to his mother.
He's a free thinker.
Yeah, I guess
He's his own journalist.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be my own journalist.
Yeah, for sure.
On this doctor that you say is so dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, it kind of puts that dad story into and I was thinking and watching, don't judge a book by its cover. Aaron Taylor Johnson, when you see a guy burning bodies, maybe he was just honoring.
He did wave you on in, but I understand why you didn't go down there.
I would have ran too, but at the same time, he was just disposing of bodies.
Yeah.
In a very organized way.
He was, yeah. They were lined up in rows. Like they were good to go. I respect.
You know, we get, it turns out that, you know, Spike takes the baby back, gives him to his dad, gives his dad a note.
My only problem with this is there is another encounter with Samson.
There is, yeah.
Because it cuts directly after he puts the skull on the head. It's a very fast cut.
Yeah.
To they're jumping into a tunnel. Samson is back, assuming he's looking for his child, is what I'm picking up from it. And Samson almost kills the doctor, but Spike is there to morphine it again. My only issue with this is if that Alpha was able to find him, knows exactly where he is coming back.
Yeah,
and he will constantly come back. So you need to kill that.
Yeah, I was expecting a rock head smash coup de grace, but I think that's the problem with a sequel's coming, right?
Yeah.
That Alpha's going to go after that baby. Hopefully, it seems like if Garland is gonna do a script that is nice and tight and creative like this, I would think that in his sequel he would have because Alex is pretty good with like, what's this movie about? Kid leaves town to get his doctor help.
Yeah.
And so like that's a very Garlandy thing for him to be like, the Alpha's gonna go after that baby now.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that we're gonna have to wait to see that happen. And you are
not
right.
Not for very long, but yeah.
I was thinking, it's like, cool, put 12 arrows into that back of his head.
Finish him, like put him down now.
Yeah. And yeah, it was just a disappointment, but just like anything, like Halloween, it's like the sequel has to happen.
Yeah.
So.
And that's where I am with this, but I'll come back to that when we finish up the rest of the movie.
Yeah. We have a return to form in or not a return to form, but a return to the dad and reading the note and stuff. And it's revealed that Spike has left the baby with the village and then ran off on his own to go
He
further
said he
inland.
needed to go explore for his own. He needed to go walking.
Yeah. I think it's because, like, if the doctor is like that, what else could...
Yeah, who else is out here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a wild thing to think. And he finds somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have the craziest ending tonal shift.
It is so weird.
Yeah. We have, at the beginning, we see a young man, Jimmy, being betrayed by his priest father and left on his own.
Yeah, his father tells him to run, but it is very much okay, you probably had something to do with what's going on here.
Yeah. His priest father thinks the infected is Judgment Day.
Yes.
Everybody should die to the infected.
Yes.
And, his faith has corrupted him, obviously. And Spike's running, he gets cornered, and Austin Powers shows up.
Yeah, it's really weird. It is such a crazy tonal shift from what the rest of the movie is, because Spike is stuck against a wall, infected are coming at him, Jimmy shows up and says, hey, we'll help you if you need it.
And I'm thinking like, okay, cool. That's okay, this is a crazy character, that's cool. But then with the flips and the fast cuts,
it's very odd.
I tried to justify it to myself thinking maybe they weren't that ridiculous, but in Spike's eyes, from a world of brown and bows and arrows, maybe it just felt that crazy to him, No,
I think it was just that crazy.
I was like, okay, this is just the way he sees it. This is just the way he sees it. It's not really, they're not doing somersaults. They're just really good at combat, and it feels like they're doing. And it's kind of a callback to Spike's Power Ranger.
In a way, yeah.
Because these are like highly saturated, primary color outfitted superheroes.
Very much so.
And they are just killing these zombies in the most extreme ways, and
makes no sense in that world.
It makes no sense.
Because the way that they're killing them is very hands-on, very close quarters, and they're cutting throats, blood spraying everywhere.
And they're all staying super clean.
Yeah, so it is a very odd feeling, because the rest of the movie, they're not getting anywhere near the blood. In fact, there's a scene to where Spike kills an infected behind his mom, and blood splatters on her, and he's panicking. He's like, oh, I got this. I'll take care of it. Don't touch anything.
Yeah, and I think...
And then you get to this.
Yeah, and it's like, it makes me not excited for the sequel, because what I like about... my favorite part about these movies is how easy it is to become infected and how fast it happens. Like, you get bit, you're gasping, choking, and then
if you get sprayed in the face, if it hits your eyeball, goes in your mouth, you're done.
You get scratched with the fingernail, right? It's just like, and then it's
weird.
It's weird.
It's very, very weird. But this, like Shaun says, turned out to be Jimmy. He introduces himself to the kid. That's it.
And it's like, I think there's a way for those guys to be there.
Yeah.
Like, in this universe, like a strange faction of...
I would have ended the movie, honestly, I would have ended the movie with Jimmy saying, do you need help? And then the kid saying yes, and then you see them come down, and then it picks up from there.
Yeah.
Very much like a Lord of the Rings type of thing.
Yeah.
But that's how tonally weird it felt to me, and that's the only reason why in my head I thought that, because... it makes no sense to me. It makes the rest of the movie feel very awkward when you get to that.
And it sucks because it's clearly there for a transition to bridge into whatever the next movie is going to be tonally.
I think the next movie is going to be completely different.
Exactly. And it's unfortunate because if they would have just ended on a cliffhanger of Jimmy being like, hey, do you need some help? And it just cutting to black, it wouldn't have retroactively made this movie worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a hair in your food.
Yeah.
It's like a
it doesn't make me hate the movie at all.
Yes.
By no means. It's just very weird.
Because I've already eaten the meal.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm still satisfied, but my dessert wasn't up to par.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way to put it.
I think for me, it's like I just had a perfect steak and I ate all my mashed potatoes, and then I saw like a dead fly just sitting in the middle of the plate. I've already eaten it and I've had a good time.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, ugh, what's that?
I do like that when the movie is over, I am already thinking about where this links up with all the other movies. For instance, who is the mother's dad that she keeps talking about? Is it pronounced Killian? Is it Killian Murphy? Is that how you say his first name?
Yeah.
Is it him? Is she the little girl from 28 Days that had grown up and had her own family, and then Killian was her father. Is that who she's talking about?
Yeah, if it is.
Yeah,
if it
because
does
there are no legacy characters in this movie.
No.
Yet. So
I don't think there needs to be either.
I think he is coming back, though.
Yeah, because he did produce it.
Yes. But there are a lot of things that I'm thinking about, like, will the sequel be the empire of this trilogy to where it's gonna end on a really sad cliffhanger?
Yeah.
Is that where we're going with this next one? Who knows? But it does make me excited for it. And it's really hard because I've been thinking about this whole time, because it's been about an hour and a half since we watched the movie. The whole time I've been racking in my head, what do I give this film?
Okay.
And it's been going all over the place. Because when I first left, I thought, man, that ending was weird. And that's all I could think about. But as I went on, I remembered the same thought process I had with the Halloween trilogy coming back to this conversation. When I walked out of Halloween 2018, I thought, I really like that movie. I know it's going to be a trilogy. I can't necessarily give it 100% review, but I could say at this moment, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
So with this film, I'm kind of doing the same thing. It will be interesting to come back and look at this after the trilogy is done, because it'll probably be either a lot better or a lot worse. But, are we doing writing down?
Yeah, I wrote mine down.
Okay.
I wrote mine down.
Okay. How big did you write yours?
Not that big.
Okay.
Just to prove that I did it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let's say it on the count of three. We'll say our number. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, 7.
Oh wow!
Oh!
Nice. And I think that is a very fair place to put this right now, just to see where the trilogy is going to take us. Because we don't know. This could get even higher after we figure out what they're trying to explain.
Yes, my hope is that Jimmy is I think I left saying tunnel snakes.
Yes.
Like a Fallout faction that is totally psycho and, I hate to say it, but a Joker-like agent of chaos.
I feel like he's going to be the villain for the next two movies.
Yeah.
I feel he is what is going to push this movie into a trilogy, is Jimmy.
And I'm hoping that, because especially after Sinners, we know Jack O'Connell could be a show stealer.
Yeah, for sure.
And it is like, although he was outrageous here, he could, that actor could totally anchor multiple films as a villain, or some kind of presence. It's just so strange to do it at the end of this movie that much.
I agree.
But yeah.
Like I said, I am very excited for the next couple ones. I do recommend everybody go and see this film. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. It is very much like the first 28. Not like 28 weeks, but a lot like days.
Yes. Good danger, interesting cuts, Alex Garland weirdness, and lots of shots from iPhones.
Yeah.
They filmed it on iPhones.
Yeah, they sure did. I saw the rig that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They say iPhones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an iPhone with a $65,000 attachment.
I also saw the big one around the Alpha in the forest. It's like, I think it's like 15 cell phones and like a big wide spread to
We
get
shot
like
it on
upwards.
Alpha. We shot
I
it
think
on
that's
Alpha.
how they did like that upwards angle of him,
Yeah.
so you could get like all sides of him.
We shot on iPhones with $40,000 lenses attached to them. Okay.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking
Oh
about.
my God, I don't care. All right, you guys, make sure and tell us what you thought of 28 Years Later down in the comments below. Make sure and drop a like, and go check out our what can we do? We can give them the what's out right now? What did we just post?
It was you watching The Descent.
Yeah, go watch The Descent right here over Greyson's mug.
Yep, it'll be over there. I'll make sure it shows up on my face.
He's so hideous. We got to cover that, put that dog back in its cage.
Goodbye.